Usamos estampillas también.
You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
Violent people.
Radio.
Welcome to Violent People, episode 51. You may have heard 5 minutes before this. I don't know what Sam's going to put up. But I'm Dan Rice, your host, and I am joined by the aforementioned Sam. Sam, how's it going?
I'm doing A-okay, Dan Rice. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So your car's great?
Car is really good. Not back in the trash heap again in back-to-back weeks. Certainly not that. Certainly not taking it to the dealer tomorrow to try and get fixed over the next 3 weeks. We'll see what happens.
All right. Also joined by Pat. Pat is not a thief at all. So how you doing, Pat?
No, I'm not a thief at all. And frankly, we don't need to expound on that statement. I think you answered any potential questions.
It wasn't ambiguous at all.
I do regret that the financial circumstances of all of the four of us meant that after promising last week was our final episode, we do have to get back together for the money. We
Can I tell you
pissed through the
something?
Violent People.
It's always been about the money for me.
I mean,
Last
yeah,
heist.
We pissed through the Violent People fortune in 5 days.
It was a hell of 5 days. Chris, what did you do with your share?
Big order of pizza. Just one big order of pizza.
That feels like a mistake because, as you all know, corporate will buy you pizzas whenever you need.
That's true. That is true. I love corporate overlords and when they bring me pizza.
As you should. So, outside of all of us spending thousands and thousands of dollars that we make off this website and this podcast specifically,
Do you think there's a single person that thinks that we make any money off this website?
people are really stupid, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I was
I was
about
mug
to say,
and
yeah,
mug.
fucking dumbasses might, and then Dan said it for me.
You
Our
just have to have
mug
no
sale,
idea
not there.
how anything works.
All right, folks, it's time to go to our fourth wall and buy a mug today. Be one of the cool kids.
We should like gate something behind like number of mugs. So like we have to sell 200 mugs to unlock like I don't know, like another fucking Hackenschmidt match or something.
I've been sitting on that one, so that's good.
Yeah.
If you buy 100 mugs, there's a secret hidden article about Bryan Danielson that you'll unlock.
Oh shit, that might work. These bitches love Bryan Danielson.
Dan will make another.
It'll be my
announcement.
long lost contribution to the wet hot American Dragon summer. That it definitely exists. It's just hidden.
Tanner will eat 30 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
The only thing
Yeah,
they
and he
love
has-
more than Bryan Danielson is Tanner's hot dogs.
For every 100 mugs that they buy, he has to try. It's not like a one-time thing. It's like
For
he has to
200.
try that for every. If you get to 200 mugs, he has to try again. 300, we make him try.
I think it's
again.
60 and 20.
And we just keep
300.
going until he loses a foot.
Just multiply.
Listen, if any single person buys 10 mugs, I'll ban anyone from Discord you want. Throwing it out there.
I mean, now I'm gonna buy 10 mugs.
Have at it.
I unfortunately could ban anyone I want at any given time. They just have to be in the Discord when I want to ban them. So,
Oh man,
Dr.
that's a joke for
Lariat.
us.
Okay, this is my last show. I'll see you guys later.
What's up? What's up?
I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know. I'm trying to behave because I think was it last week where you told me that I personally offend everyone on the show?
No, I just said you
Multiple
made
times?
someone quit.
Oh,
That's all. That's different.
that is
That's different.
it's more
Come
true
on,
too,
dude.
so that's good.
Get it the fuck under wraps.
Oh man.
I've got wrestling on while we talk.
Well, I was
And
saying, should we start with you
I very much thought for a second that I had just seen Cody Manhorn shit his pants, but I think it's just blood.
because I
His
know
trousers?
it seems like you've been watching a lot of wrestling, and you're
Today.
watching what the Discord wants.
Yeah. I am a man of the people. I gave the people the choice between should I watch AAA Lucha Libre, should I watch Juggalo Championship Wrestling, the home promotion of Violent People Radio, or should I watch a bunch of death matches? And people voted a bunch of death matches. So, you guys, do you remember that Mickey Knuckles versus Christian Ross match that I tricked you all into watching?
Wish
I will
didn't.
never forget.
Okay, so I watched the entire show surrounding that match from X Brand Wrestling. And I watched another show up there. You know, there's not much to say about the it was March. It was called Are You Saved? The Mickey Knuckles versus Christian Ross match. Just go back to whichever episode we talked about that one on if you want to hear our thoughts. The only match worth talking about on that entire show. However, skip ahead to their Mania weekend show, which is called the XPW Johnstown Massacre, which took place on April 20th in someone's basement somewhere in Pennsylvania. And the basement looked like the kill room from Dexter. They just had white tarps up over everything. They had a single gym mat laid down on a concrete floor. Everyone was standing around in it looked like if the movie Fight Club had a really bad set designer. And the energy for that show was unhinged. The acoustics were so bad in the basement that the audio was completely demonic sounding. The microphone would echo and then pick up its own echo and just sound freakish.
Can I butt in real fast to
matches-
say I pulled
up?
up this card, and I think it's crazy to say this, but they opened with the heavy hitter. They opened with like the only two names I know on the show.
Yeah, no, and that match is crazy because the two of them, they put on one of the better matches of the show because they just came across like two meth heads trying to kill each other in a basement. Sergeant Jimmy Controversy versus the Hellaware Assassin. And like they basically just stabbed each other for 5 minutes. They were doing shit like Sergeant Jimmy. I can't talk tonight. Sergeant Jimmy was holding a light tube to Hellaware Assassin's back and then just bashes it with his nightstick. The 3AW Brass Knuckles Championship match between Sinister Minister and JC Extreme, I'm pretty sure ended with a legitimate knockout because they did a suplex spot onto a board on a concrete floor, and Sinister pinned JC Extreme, and then there was that signature thing that you see where the ref counts 1, 2, and then there's a really long hesitation before counting 3 because he's like, the guy's supposed to kick out. He counted 3, the title changed hands, and Sinister looked very confused for a bit. And JC Extreme, they squeezed. The only medical care I saw him receiving was they squeezed his hand to make sure that his nervous system was still functioning. There was also an ultra-violent pillow fight between Candy Cane and Eden Poison. Candy Cane was managed by Veronica Kane of XPW fame, who I think is the GM of XBW. There was a weird thing where after the Jimmy Controversy versus Hellaware Assassin match, Hellaware Assassin refused to accept that he lost and brought out a taser and was flashing it around until Veronica Kane like forced him to leave the basement And it wasn't like when someone's thrown out of the ring and then they have to walk back up the ramp or something like that. This was just he was forced out of the basement, so he just disappears up the stairs into this person's house. It was deranged. The pillow fight, you can find it on YouTube. It is porno. Like it. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is a video that would be on a particularly drug-addicted OnlyFans page. And I think this is the future for wrestling. This is what indie wrestling needs, is to corner the market on being weird pornographers. That said, the highlight of the night was the Up in Flames death match. So they advertised a fire match in someone's basement. I can only imagine what kind of brain, what kind of beautiful mind says, all right, we're doing a show in someone's house. Let's advertise a match where you have to set your opponent on fire. It was between Toby Mara and Kevin Chaos, who, if you told me that neither of these guys had ever even seen pro wrestling before, I would completely believe you. They were just kind of trying to kill each other. The vibe of XPW is basically, did you guys ever watch the bum fights videos?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was in college, and it was kind of everyone was a little more misanthropic back then, and bum fights was funny until it wasn't. There are some pretty strong bum fights vibes with the wrestling trainees on XPW shows. So they ended up fighting out of the house into someone's lawn where it was visibly like 3 p.m. out, and then one of them sets the other on fire. And there's no like Jack Perry, mysteriously he's covered in glistening fireproof goo. No, one of them just pours something on the other's shirt and sets them on fire. This is like, I'm not sure how you can make a promotion sleazier than XPW without metaphorical porn becoming actual literal porn, or without like Carnage Cup shit, like someone getting their finger cut off, or also Carnage Cup shit, like someone just doing meth on camera. Like, the contrast to this was I also watched a bunch of. Did you guys watch the ICW No Holds Barred stuff in Tennessee from earlier this month?
I did not.
No.
No.
Oh well, pretty good if you like deathmatch stuff. But the contrast between watching ICW No Holds Barred, where you have people who know what they're doing, like
Trained
John
wrestlers.
Wayne Murdoch. Yeah, John Wayne Murdoch looks like a fat piece of shit, but he understands how to like work a match. Versus, Toby Mara or whoever the fuck on XPW, Jeff Shock, where it's like, oh, he's just a guy who is willing to get cut a lot. Like, he's just a guy who's willing to fall headfirst onto concrete. There's no real thought or craftsmanship. I will say, shout out to Ty on the Discord. His boy Lil Sicko had maybe the best match of the night with Reed Bentley. Anakin Murphy versus Danny DeManto was also fun, as was Hoodfoot versus Jameson Shook. The common trend in all these matches is you had a big guy and a little guy, and a lot in the Chattanooga TWE arena, which looks like it reminds me of where they would hold like the world's baddest tough guy, like the movie No Holds Barred. What was the contest of that? Like Battle of the Tough Guys. It reminds me of the bar that they go into in No Holds Barred, where it's just an 80s movie vision of like a place that scuzzy degenerates who hit each other hang out. That's what the TWE arena looks like in a beautiful way. So perfect vibe. You had wrestlers who know what they're doing, or at least can be led through something by the other wrestler who knows what they're doing. Still lots of glass, lots of blood, lots of general degeneracy, but a less of a desperate meth head feel to it all. The other wrestling thing I watched this week that I really enjoyed was Danny DeManto's shoot interview with Tank.
Oh god.
It's just Tank, the Rev, and Danny DeManto sitting around for 2 hours just shooting the shit, talking about Tank's career. And both of them, Tank comes across like a nice guy. The Rev comes across like a nice guy. Danny Demanto comes across like Danny Demanto. And they just tell fun stories. I thought it was an entertaining shoot interview. I'm really tired of the shoot interview stuff where it's like, all right, you worked in WWE once, so what was it like working with Randy Orton? What was Batista like backstage? That sort of like I've heard too many things about that. I don't need to hear another person's thoughts on like the right to censor angle. But this was just them telling stories about backstage at ICW shows, stories from the indies. I thought that was a lot of fun to listen to. And they also brought up favorite of the show, Sadika. And did you guys ever see her pit fighter match with Kimberly?
Yes.
Yeah. So they talk about that because I guess Tank was like in the building for that show. I don't know if he was on the show. He might have been retired at that point. But he was there for that. And Danny just kind of goes like, well, before that match, I told Sadika that like I wanted the finish to kind of look like a shoot. And yeah, she just kind of, did what she like. She's just fucking crazy, man. And if you haven't seen that match, it basically ends with Sadika attempting to shoot like powerbomb Kimberly to hell. Like Sadika stops working a match and starts trying to win a fight for real. Another classic in that genre is when she tried to do that to Lindsay Snow. She like dropped Lindsay Snow straight on her head on a powerbomb on purpose. So Lindsay Snow put her in a shoot heel hook until she tapped out. What I'm saying is everyone should watch the classics of the Sadika canon. And with that...
Now, Pat, I don't want to turn this into a geography podcast. How far of a drive is it from you to Philadelphia?
Too far.
That's not a real answer.
I am going to double check because I think I know what it is, but I want to double check.
Because this Saturday, XBW is having another show in the Subterranean Death Trap in Horsham, PA.
It's the fact that they are running in a place that they label Subterranean Death Trap does own.
And you have to DM for the tickets. You love that. You love when you have to DM for the address. Not weird at all.
I mean, that's how they do all these shows. Is like the location is a secret, obviously, because they don't have any like venue permits or anything like that. They definitely don't have insurance. So
yeah, because if you see your neighbor's address having a show with
it's basically the same model as like how like racist white power band concerts work, where it's like, all right, we're not going to tell you where the show is because we don't want anyone protesting it. With this, it's like we're not going to tell you where the show is until day of because we don't want like any kind of regulatory board finding out. Yeah, no, unfortunately I will be working Saturday, but it is a 5 to 6 hour drive depending on where it is.
Okay. So maybe in the future. I'm usually against HOAs, but I have to say if someone next door to me is having a Human Torch death match in their house, I might have some issues with it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, yeah, you'd be like, why didn't you fucking tell me? I would have, put this all over Violent People.
I'll get some more money. Maybe get a little sponsorship deal going where they pay us because we're reaching all the fans.
I have very much considered contacting them and being like, how much to have. I mean, I might DM them on Instagram tonight and be like, how much to say Violent People Radio sponsored this match?
I mean, I gotta bet the answer is like $9.
That's the thing. It's like I probably out of like 2 hours of my overtime this week, I could just pay whatever to have them say like Violent People Radio brings you X brand wrestling with whatever. I forget what matches they have booked. I don't think they've booked anyone cool yet.
Yeah, just offer to like the price of like 230 packs. I think you're golden.
I mean, I just have to look up like the street value of fentanyl. So let's see what
You're looking it up real fast.
it
is funny because they have they have a bunch of no names announced. Same as this last show, people I've never heard of that I don't know are actual wrestlers. But then they have a tournament coming up, no date, but there's a tournament where they have just like tons of names, like Mickey, Nick Gage.
Yeah, that's the Wicked 13
Beverly.
or whatever it's called. Some of those basement matches, like the Jimmy Controversy versus Hellware Assassin, that was a qualifier for that tournament. They do have my boy Brax versus Jimmy Chondo Lion.
Oh, Brax! I didn't even put together that that's Brax.
That's Brax, baby. They've got Rick Church versus Nico Gray, who I think both of those are just either local guys or like, trainees or something.
Maybe it's their parents' basement.
Maybe. They advertised that Mr. Miller will be there. And Mr. Miller is a guy who he was in this basement show. He is dressed like a plantation owner. Like they're in someone's suburban basement in Pennsylvania, and then a guy comes in wearing a suit and hat like he is a human foghorn leghorn. And for all the world, it looked like some sort of weird attempt at like a viral like chicken commercial. They are doing the rematch between Sinister and JC, the guy who got knocked out in the finish and lost his title. So it looks like they're putting them against each other again. That should go well.
All right. Now, Sam, I don't know if there's much overlap in what you watched this last week.
I feel
And
comfortable
Pat.
saying there's zero overlap.
Okay. All right. What have you watched?
Actually, there's a spiritual overlap because it looks like X Brand Wrestling does have a Patreon. I know you're into that. See,
Actually,
join
after
for
learning
free. Don't mind if I do.
about the potential cost of my car, I have canceled all my Patreon subscriptions.
Okay, well,
including
X Brand
being
Wrestling
with
just
personal
went
friend.
from 14 members to 15 in the time we've
There we
been talking.
go. There we go. Oh man, I did not watch much this week, or nothing that's like super worth talking about. Like I watched a chunk of 1984 stuff, but probably spent just as much time figuring out when WWF and Mid South taped their shows as I did actually watching the matches. Watch, JD Inc., who is about 5'6", pretty muscly, full of tattoos, versus Adam Priest from this year. I know nothing more about that match. It's fine. Adam Priest is a good professional wrestler. JD Inc., not so much. But what are you going to do? It's free on YouTube when you search Adam Priest versus 2025. Watched Jacob Crane versus Koshiro Asakura from Big Japan Professional Wrestling from April 20th. I don't know if I've actually watched a Jacob Crane match.
Which feels weird because I was going to say you feel like a Jacob Crane guy. I feel like I've heard you mention him more than once.
I feel like also I might be getting have gotten Jacob Crane confused with the other Crane that's from Indiana, that area with Dale Patrick. Because I just assumed a Crane with Dale Patrick. That must be the same Crane. Not at all. Not at all. This is a guy who's been. I was thinking Josh Crane. Very different wrestler. Very different wrestler. But you know what? Dan, you're not wrong. I might be a Jacob Crane guy. He's pretty good here. He's pretty good. He feels like dramatic without going too over the top. Feels like so many folks, especially in this kind of age bracket, will just play it way too big. I think he mostly gets it. I don't know necessarily I get along with the fact that they try to do like an exhaustion type match where both dudes are worn the F out across like a 7-minute match, but go with God. They at least made me feel it for a little bit. Watch Inoki and Fujinami versus Riki Choshu and Animal Hamaguchi. Bad News Allen. Let me tell you, that guy's like really just working every night of that tour. messing with people. What a professional wrestler he is. Match is good. Not shocking. I'm coming around on Ricky Choshu. Go me. The last standout person. What else is worth talking about? I watched the Mid-South. Not really worth talking about other than like Rick Rude, the opposite of a prodigy in wrestling. He is not someone that
You're
starts
saying that
out
he is the opposite of the prodigy from ECW?
100%. A wrestler I'm totally aware of because I'm a smart wrestling fan who knows and watches a lot of wrestling. He just kind of looks like shit. Looks too small, thin frame, not enough juice in the chest. Gets there, obviously. No real personality in what he's doing. It's wild that he turns into what he does. But he's not. He doesn't got it. If someone told you, "Oh yeah, I knew he was gonna be a star," from that day forward, they're fucking idiots. Fucking idiots. Butch Reed, in my opinion, good professional wrestler. Having hot takes aplenty today. Watched Hulk Hogan and Bob Backlund versus Mr. Fuji and Tiger Chung Lee. Hulk Hogan's out here doing rolling arm bars. God bless his soul. Bob Backlund gets 0 offense into this match. What a hoop. And then last match I watched, Jaguar Yokota versus Mimi Hagawara. Real good stuff. Jaguar is great. Love her deeply. Love that these ladies just put their boots straight into each other's faces, and it works for me. It works for me. But like nothing that is topical, nothing that I can say, wow, you missed out on X match from last weekend. Didn't do that. Nothing right now is interesting me, which is a really good place to be in as someone who runs a wrestling website and is on a wrestling podcast on a weekly basis. That's what people want to hear.
I appreciate every day you don't shut it down.
I get close to that buzzer every single day.
No, I figured there's a big red button on your desk, and like when you found out about your car and you just looked at Modern Wrestling, you almost pushed it.
Luckily, there's 1984 New Japan that gets me excited. Who knew?
All right,
I mean,
Chris?
it's not that new at this point. It's from 1984.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
New Japan, more like old Japan.
Why call it World Wrestling Entertainment when it's not entertaining? And there's
Hey, it
very
ain't
little
wrestling either,
wrestling?
brother. Chris, you're a noted wrestling watcher.
Yeah. Also, thanks for the introduction today on the episode.
I felt like I cut to you. I asked you what you did with your money.
Oh, true. Oh, yeah.
You're just over there steaming the whole time I cut to you.
Yeah, I was just still thinking about that pizza.
I also think that there's a chance that Sam leaves the first 7 minutes unedited just up, so like no one got introed.
Very fair point. Yeah, I watched a little bit of wrestling this week. I finished the Lucha Memes shows of the month of February. There was one more show. It was a joint show with CWE, which is, I believe, a Costa Rican promotion.
I believe you're correct.
And yeah, I believe it used to be CMLL Costa Rica. And they still bring in a lot of CMLL guys to do shows. And it was like a perfectly fine show. The two highlight matches were Avisman versus Esqualo and Aries versus Flystar. That's Aries with an S, not to be confused with Ares, the luchador who works quite frequently. And both Esqualo and Aries, I believe, are the owners of the promotion, and Esqualo is like the head trainer. So it makes sense that they had like the good matches here, especially against like Avisman and Flystar, who are both great professional wrestlers. Avisman versus Esqualo, I think goes a little too long, but the crowd's decently into it, and you can kind of tell that Esqualo wants to have this match with like a Yaves master like Avisman. So it's a fun show. The rest of it is kind of skippable. I think Arrow Boy versus Hieronymus, which is the main event, was pretty fun, but nothing worth going out of your way to see. And then I took a little trip to Arena Nakalpan to begin the big list of IWRG for the month of February. I have only seen the February 2nd show. It was I'd say a solidly watchable IWRG show. The first match is a singles match with younger wrestlers. You've kind of know what you're getting. Then you've got two really solid trios matches. Aguila Roja, Puma de Oro, and Vito Fratelli versus Flamita, Noisy Boy, and Spiderfly. And like,
one of those names is not like the others.
yeah, Vito Fratelli is just there to be like a big fat guy to be a bass, while the other five are some of my
Bouncing
favorite
off
lucha.
of him.
Yeah, other five are except Flamita, but also maybe Flamita. I believe I had the high votes on all of those guys in the VP 100, so I'm quite fond of them. And Vito Fratelli is just, yeah, he's a big guy that the small high flyers do their moves off of. And it's fun. It's very fun. It won't be the best match featuring Noisy Boy, Spiderfly, Aguila Roja, or Puma de Oro, or Flamita. But it might be the best match this year featuring Vito Fratelli. Time will tell. The other match is Aquiles Caballero de Plata and Tornado versus Cerebro Negro Jr., Principe Centauro, and Ray Houson Jr. Just a bunch of like undercard IWRG wrestlers having a fun little trios. There's an unannounced match that I had a good amount of fun with, which was a three-way match with Multifacetico Jr., Ray Leone, and Toxine. And I think they couldn't run one of the announced matches, so they just had these three guys do a walk and brawl around Arena Nakalpan. And it's not the best Arena Nakalpan walk and brawl, but it's a fun one. Nice light watching. I got really worried when I saw the tag match of Cybernetico and Hellboy versus Dr. Wagner Jr. and Io de Canis Lupus, because like 2025 you see Cybernetico and Wagner Jr. in a match, and you like Wagner, you're spinning a roulette on if he's gonna be good or not. Cybernetico, you're really, really spinning the wheel on if you're going to get anything. But it's not a disaster or anything. It's got some fun moments. Dr. Wagner gets bloodied up a little. Canis Lupus and Hellboy are very solid hands. It's not a bad match by any means, just not particularly memorable. But I was very worried, but it ended up being fine. And the main event.
Hellboy, I got a quick question for you. Does Hellboy still do the thing where he is painting his neck to make it seem like he has a stronger chin than he does?
I believe he is. I wasn't paying close attention to his neck.
That is a trick I'm pretty sure he got from Marilyn Manson, where he covers his neck in dark makeup to make it look like a shadow, so that his chin looks like he's got a stronger jawline. And honestly, I think more wrestlers should do it, because then they get all sweaty and it starts running down their neck, and it just looks very funny.
Yeah, and Marilyn Manson, what a great...
More wrestlers should take their cues from Marilyn Manson in all areas of life.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got a clean take of that, so that Sam can do whatever he wants with that in the edit.
Great music, better guy.
And the main event of that show is La Pandemia versus La Secta in an EDM trios match for the EDM trios title. It is absolutely nothing. There is nothing going on in that match. Do not watch it. I almost fell asleep. And I love La Pandemia.
I thought you were saying you love La Secta. I was like, that's wild.
Noted Dark Espiritu fan, Chris. I was going to say, who are we sticking the blame with on this one? Who dropped the ball?
I'm always going to be prone to blame La Secta. Dark Espiritu, not in the match. It is Cuervo, Oz, and Scoria.
Yeah, I think Scoria, they split them up in AAA into Cibernetico. I think had Oz and Cuervo, and Macias had Espiritu and Scoria. And Scoria was just like, after they did the blow off match for that, Espiritu was like, by the way, I'm going back to being retired. And Scoria was like, well, okay, I'm just gonna leave AAA because there's nothing. You guys split me off from La Secta. There's nothing going on for me now. But I'm glad that they're all still friends on the indies.
Now, Chris, can I ask you a question about your process in this Lucha Roundup? Like, I pull up the IWRG results to follow along to see like what is going on. Now, when you're like watching this show, do you know what's coming? Like, are you looking at the results? Do you know what you're watching in two shows? Or
yeah, I know what I know.
So you're like, man, I got Daga and Hellboy going 17 minutes in two shows. I gotta hurry.
Yeah, I'm could not be more excited for a Daga 17-minute singles match.
I just love it because it's the only time on like any of these IWRG shows is they're like, hey, just so you know, Daga went 17 here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they never do timestamps for IWRG.
I mean, I'm scrolling up. It's the only one I see. It's just like, hey, we're gonna warn you about Daga.
You can't put any of these other matches in the match guide, but you can put the Daga match in the match guide. Because who doesn't love Daga? Oh my god, Daga has a 7.17 on Cage Match. That's insane.
I've had the thought before that I'm shocked that Daga like hasn't been like one of those when AEW will just sign someone out of the blue for seemingly no reason. Like, I thought, when, especially towards the start of the company before they were getting all of kind of the NXT Black and Gold you know, people who were being shed by WWE. I thought, for a while, like, I'm waiting for Daga to show up and just, like be like a guy that AEW gets just to get. And I'm proud of Tony's restraint for not going for that one for whatever reason.
Yeah, it would be hard to find a worse like Lucha signing than when they brought in Gravity. But
Yeah,
I think that might be worse than Gravity because with Daga, you like.
I mean, Daga's already. It's like they already had Andrade, and Daga's whole existence is kind of the we have Andrade at home guy.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like Gravity makes Bandito happy. Who does Daga make happy? Who we bringing Daga in as a favor for? I know the voices of wrestling guys talk up his Noah stuff. There's no way it's true, but I have heard that.
I mean, I do not have particularly good like good things to say about Daga, and I don't really have particularly good things to say about. I haven't watched any Noah from this year, but like the past several years.
What about Limit Break?
Oh well, that's completely different. So a combination of the two, you would have to have a gun to my head.
Oh, 7.17.
He's tagging with Jack Morris. Jack Morris sucks too. Maybe they are both like they're an inexplicable like good tag team together, but I like highly doubt that.
Well, when you're in there against like 2025 Marufuji, you're gonna look good.
Yeah, they are not like tearing apart at the knees, I guess.
So I can only imagine in Noah. I mean, it seems like you're getting a 17-minute Daga match every night minimum.
Yeah,
That
I am
just
looking.
In Limit
That
Break,
just
you're
seems
probably
ridiculous.
getting Daga time limit draws.
Oh my God, Daga going Broadway with Anthony Green.
You watch anything else this week?
We shouldn't laugh about
Or just
something that
Lucha?
horrible.
Just Lucha.
Lucha.
Tomorrow is our union election, and I assume I will have more free time once that is over.
Once
Or
you get rid of
actually,
that.
I will probably have less time. But
Because either the union will win and you'll have union work to do, or the union loses, then they're just gonna work you to the fucking bone.
yep.
So really, win-win.
I mean, or
Absolutely.
the union loses and they fire all of you.
Then
And
you
then
have
you have
so
more
much
free
wrestling time.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right, I guess that leaves me. I watched some wrestling.
What wrestling
Um,
you watch?
I watched. Well, the Vault put up Andre the Giant. Like, I think it's like 24 minutes of like mostly like backstage stuff, like either never before seen or rarely before seen stuff. And I watched that, and people should check it out because I kind of forget about the Vault because most of the stuff they put up there is just really stupid. That like things that have been available either on YouTube in some cases or on the network for decades. But this stuff is cool. I mean, you get to see Giant Baba in a WWF ring, which is just cool for like the novelty of that. And then that got me in the mood to see, whatever new footage is out there. And somehow this dropped, and I didn't watch it for. This went up on May 15th, and I didn't watch it for 3 or 4 days. Appalachia Championship Wrestling finally released Josh Bishop versus Suicide from 2022.
Who's under the mask?
I'm gonna assume Caleb Conley. He works there a lot. And
I'm gonna guess
he
Josh
doesn't.
Bishop.
Oh, he does work. Yeah, he does work later in the show. So yeah, definitely Caleb Conley. He opens and closes the show. So does Josh Bishop actually, but this match had never been seen before. Just clips on social media, so this was a big deal. This was kind of like Josh Bishop's coming out party in ACW, not his first match, but he won a title and Appalachian Championship Wrestling rules, and I hope Josh Bishop gets back down here soon and wrestles for him some more. This match takes place in a BW3's parking lot, and Bishop wins their like secondary title in this match, which I don't know why I can't think it was called. Super H title, and then later on in the main event, it comes out and wins like the heavyweight title, and then that's when he's doing like the I have a million belts and a bunch of shitty indies throughout the country gimmick. And Bishop and Suicide are both super relevant to this pod, so I had to watch that. I watched Mystico versus the Frauds, which is like Mystico versus 4 or 5 guys dressed up as Mystico. It was really funny, really weird, just because like you don't see that kind of shit in CMLL all the time. It's like promoting some like AI fraud detection tool or something. I don't really know the details on it. It was Averno was I think the only one that was actually unmasked, so the only one we actually know, but it was just Fat Mystico, Mini Mystico, and was a fun time.
I think Cubs fan guessed that the Fat Mystico was Volcano.
Oh, that does make sense, yeah. And then following guys I've been about this year, I watched Jonathan Gresham matches. I watched him versus Manders and him versus Jimmy Lloyd. Different boy. I'm gonna let you know, the Jimmy Lloyd match was way better. Way better.
Explain. I wanna like I don't doubt you, but I wanna understand why.
It's a hardcore match, and it's Gresham. They start out, doing the Gresham, mat work stuff, and then there's just a few spots where Jimmy wants to make it a hardcore match with chairs and stuff, and it's a lot of like Gresham just stopping him from using the chair and throwing it out, and just some silly shit like that. And I just thought Gresham seemed way more. It was just way more fun. It was just Gresham being kind of funny and like having a good time. He won with a shooting star press on which I haven't seen him hit in a while, on Jimmy Lloyd through a table, or not a door. Both of those were from the GCW double shot in Maryland and New York. So if we were gonna watch one, I would say the Jimmy Lloyd match, which I wouldn't have thought before that. The other match was Mentai Kid versus Genkai. I'm not like a Kyushu pro wrestling guy. Like, I am vaguely aware they exist. But this was Mentai Kid's retirement match, and I saw people talking it up, and it was really cool and really fun and really worth watching. Mentai Kid comes out, and people put like these candy wreaths on his neck, and the entrance takes like legitimately like probably like 20 minutes or something. Because like he goes to every single like kid in the audience. They all have one of these wreaths to put on top of them, and once they fill up his like neck, he like takes them off and puts them on his shoulder, and he does it again. Puts them, like, just like you can tell, like he's a big fucking deal to these guys. And I don't know, the retirement matches are fun. It could have got a little like over the top with Mentai Kid just keep coming back from every shot that Genkai throws at him, but I think they got right up to the line, didn't cross it. And there were probably like 6 or 7 false finishes where I was like, oh, this is it. And they kicked out, and like I have no emotional connection to him, and I'm fucking jumping up, like rallying on him, for him to win the match. And afterwards, there's a big presentation with everyone coming out. Dragon Kid comes out, Liger comes out. Just a really well done retirement match. And not something that I would have thought I wanted to watch, but it was definitely worth watching. And that's basically all that I watched this week that's worth talking about.
All right, so that's the show, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for coming. No, I guess we can talk about what's going on this violentpeople.co website. Sam wrote something. That's since the last time we've been on, I believe.
Yeah, for some reason he's telling everyone to go to other places.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure how that works out for our business model.
Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's why we're brainstorming the mug buying schemes.
No one clicked the links because all the links were just to the mug page.
I did think it was really funny that you were like, there is no possible financial way to support Phil Schneider. Meanwhile, like, he has a book up for order.
Hell yeah!
I got his ass.
I didn't say support Phil Schneider. I said
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. It's not the Segunda Caída book.
Gotta get
listen.
Eric some walking around money.
We got Segunda Caída. Plenty of links, double-digit clicks. They're doing
There
fine.
There we go.
Yeah, I do wish there was a way I could only support Eric.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm
I
telling
mean,
you.
maybe he's just got to open a Patreon.
Gotta write a book.
You got who'd you get to open a Patreon?
You
Or,
got to write a
Ko-fi?
book.
Someone you had to
Steph.
edit in. Oh yeah, I fucking gave him $3. Yeah.
Steph let me know that he had a Ko-fi that he had hidden and was not sharing with people in public. I
Ooh,
was
and you
like,
like
that
forced it
seems
out of the
to-
darkness.
That seems to defeat the purpose. I was like, "You want me to add it in?" He said, "Yeah." Okay, cool. He made money off that. Took money from violent people, but made money off that.
Seems like the server bill is due, and I'm like, but I really want him to review this Liger match. I'm sorry.
Damn. Anyway, people.
It was
liked
really popular. People were excited to talk about sites that aren't ours.
Yeah. Everyone talk about sites that you like. Always.
No, I think that's great because I didn't really think about it till I believe there's a kerfuffle in the Discord when people are like, everyone knows where to fucking find everything, and then some people are like, I actually
nerd
don't.
Was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Who
I do think we
is
take it for
Simon?
granted sometime where it's like, yeah, like Joseph, like even Joseph, like maybe they don't know somehow.
Well, Joseph's name
I mean,
is.
we just had someone react to a picture of Dean Rasmussen, like, who the fuck is that? So
You do
Yeah, that was their
need to
strike
lead
one.
horse to water. He got defensive about it. Fuck off.
we,
I
we
didn't see him
also
get
had
defensive. That
we
could
also,
be strike too.
the craziest thing today, the one I had to actually tweet about was someone was like, R.I.P. Larry Sweeney. His NXT run would have made him so happy. Craziest thing I've ever seen someone write.
That's fucking good shit.
That's wild.
That's dark. That's fucking dark.
That really bums me out. Yeah.
That's dark.
It's like,
I'm sad now.
you know how
Oh.
bad Larry Sweeney would have been down. In,
Hey man, don't
NXT.
let Eddie Kingston see that.
Yeah.
I'd like to announce, as far as the site goes, that I'm not going to finish that thing about Sabu. It seems like
Hell yeah! What happened?
I've been fucking working nonstop. I want people to know that I started out by talking about scrambled porn and Playboy magazines in the woods. So you missed out on that. But
That was the first place you saw Sabu, was a Playboy magazine you found in the woods, huh?
that's just what Sabu felt like. He felt like when you found a Playboy in the woods, or you
He
saw
felt
a
like
boob on
jacking off
Scrambled
in the
Channel.
woods.
There are matches that feel like jacking off in the woods. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
When I
here's a
first
little.
Name
found,
one.
the ECW Hardcore Destruction DVD in the woods. Man, it turned me on, just like, the fucking Anna Nicole Smith spread from 1992, which I first found out about via a scrambled feed of the Spice Network. By
R.I.P.
I would like to announce, as far as things I don't write, that I can now tell you for a fact that Gram Zaza knows about the Untitled Gram Zaza project.
Let's
How do
go.
you know that?
I've been speaking to his son on Facebook. It all comes back to
Okay,
Facebook.
damn.
Oh, man.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's long-term storytelling.
And it was the reaction,
Yeah.
like, like, you must stop immediately.
He was like, we are coming to your home. Stop writing these things about my father. He says he doesn't think his father will want to talk to me, but he really enjoys the writing. No, he just said that I think English is going to be a real barrier, it seems like. But
Mm.
he's heard of Violent People, and his son's definitely read it, so that's something.
Yeah. And plus, it's one of our rare series that actually, like, praises someone. So
You don't know they're tearing these son of a bitches down. We've
I mean,
had a bunch
he's
of.
he's lucky it wasn't something I wrote. I don't think I actually write about things I unironically like.
Do you think that Brinley Reese knows about Violent People?
I hope she doesn't. Not for our sake, but for hers. I want her to have a good life and just get away from this wrestling stuff.
So as far as writing, the site's lacking a little lately, but we can't stop ourselves from turning out these podcasts. I think Dig Deep has a new episode since we've last talked.
Yep.
Q&T and Watto Watch and Late Night with 2012 Royal Rumble. All of those are new
And-
since our last
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Now I know Cole's been keeping up on the Super Juniors one. Did he do a new Dramatic Kings comedy this week? Or
I know he did night 1 and night 2. I don't think he's done one since then. I don't know.
okay. So
I don't know
man.
when the night 1 came
So
out.
for
probably
people at
again.
home, that's the measure of how good a tournament is best of the Super Juniors. He's been keeping up on it. King of DDT must be pretty shitty.
Yeah,
I can
I
tell
haven't
you-
heard anything about any match from that tournament.
No. No one's
also
got anything to
haven't
say.
I haven't heard anything more about Royal Rumble 2012.
It's
since, like,
it's
yesterday.
just it goes to show that the worst of New Japan is better than the best of DDT.
Absolute facts.
What people need to understand is that evil is better than Shinya Aoki.
We got anything else coming to the site? Anyone else writing things?
If you want to, reach out to Sam, me, Chris, Pat, anybody.
Someone reached out and they were very professional about it. Way more professional than we are because it took us forever to get back to them.
I'm not sure. I ever saw. One thing that I'm going to raise on the podcast is someone sent in this pitch. Someone look at it, I'm like, I'm not sure I have the ability to do so.
Oh, we got logins and everything for everyone.
I don't know if we've ever
Give
given
me
those.
your email. Tell me your email live on the air. That will go over well.
Oh my God, this
We'll
is
get
too
fixed.
professional. This is cracking me up. Of course you can write for the site. If you can write this email, you can write for the site.
I mean, that's the barrier. If you can write an email,
Oh, the email with
You can write
links.
for the site.
3 links? Are
Just
you
say,
kidding me?
Check out my previous work.
I mean,
you know what?
Yeah.
from what
I
I,
might just be able to write for people.
from what I know of just who sent in the pitch and the very premise, I mean, I was already ready to be like, yeah, do it.
The only excuse I have is that I'm really lazy because I wasn't logged in on my
One
phone. I was like,
excuse.
and I was like, I'll get in on the computer. I just never did. Never got around to it. But yeah, so we have that coming eventually because they said I'll start writing it now. So things are coming.
I love it. I don't plan on writing anything for the next 6 months. So
6 months. What do you got going on?
cars, baking cakes in a car.
Cars.
It's just the life I live. It ain't cakes, it's
Oh, man.
cars.
I just want to cakes and cars. Listen, well, now that I've spoken to Luca, Grom's son, I'm gonna have to maybe one day crank another one of those out. They're very popular if you average the clicks between the two. And I will maybe like next year, like on the anniversary of Sabu's passing, post this.
Gives you a good buffer. Gives you a good
Trying
buffer.
to be topical.
I do think there is some value in kind of waiting to write the tribute piece about a wrestler, because in the days after Sabu's passing, everyone was rushing out to like declare how they had been saying all along that Sabu was one of the most influential pro wrestlers to ever live. When it's like, yeah, sure you've been saying that. You've definitely thought that before, and not only, made that judgment once Sabu had actually died. I do think there is some value in like waiting and having some time to have your thoughts not be right in the immediate moment, and getting them all in a line before you put them out there into the world.
Well, I'm a little pissed too because we already.
That's my roundabout way of saying you can do this, Dan. It might be
Well,
for the best.
I'm trying to circle back to fuck Phil Schneider because he dropped that Kratom bomb, but I had gotten an exclusive with his coke dealer, and now it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Point of any of this?
I will say though that the Kratom thing is like, my fucking knees are killing me at work, man. Maybe Sabu had the right idea. Maybe I should just fucking do a shit ton of Kratom in my federal job.
I think he has the right idea about a lot of things.
I should
don't know.
go to work. I should go to work to do the Kratom so that I'm doing it on federal property.
Listen, I don't know why we're getting into the kratom thing so late, but I say I've seen literal old ladies use kratom, so let's just all calm down.
Yeah, I mean that's the crazy. Like you could tell the people who have like never heard of kratom before. 'Cause they're like, oh my god, GCW was giving Sabu like enough fentanyl to kill an elephant. It's like, no, buddy, that's fucking X brand wrestling. That's not GCW.
And yeah, Pat's paying for that fentanyl, by the way.
Yeah, like I am sponsoring a specifically dirty needle match between, God, I don't know, Drake Younger and I'm blanking on a name of someone who's like obviously a fucking freak. Drake Younger and we'll say Drake Younger Jr.
Neil Diamond Cutter.
Neil Diamond Cutter. Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know if Neil Diamond Cutter is on like an opiate freak, but he seems like someone who could be if you just gave him a little nudge.
I don't want to get too dark for you guys, but my dad had a system in his trailer when he lived in a trailer where he had a bucket of clean needles and another bucket where he wrote dirty on, because he said a lot of addicts just throw them around, but then you don't know where your clean ones are and where your dirty ones are.
They all look the same.
Yeah,
Man,
he had
it's
a
good to
clean
have
bucket
a
and a dirty bucket. And he was so proud. He's like,
Yeah.
look at my system.
I
The old
mean,
two-bucket
it's better
system.
than not having a system. I
I
will
could-
admire the initiative.
I couldn't argue with it.
Yeah, two
I'm pretty-
buckets.
There was
way better
on
than
that
one
ba-
or
on that
zero.
basement show.
Yeah, 0 bucket's wild. You gotta have at least 1 bucket.
I mean, come on. Otherwise, you got to wear sandals all over the place. But on that XPW basement show, there was a syringe spot that somehow managed to look grosser than all of the other syringe spots I've ever seen. I think because it was two like barely trained guys, and one of them, I couldn't quite see where it got. I think it got stuck right into his tongue.
Yeah,
And
check
it
that
was
out,
just-
guys. Everyone watch that one.
Like, this was 2 matches after someone was almost completely naked having a pillow fight.
Oh man. Hey, this is exciting. We have this back, guys.
Oh, thank God.
Soundboard's returned. Let's get to the big top. We're talking about Dean. Do you guys know who this man is? Or
I
heard
do.
of these shows?
Yes.
Yes.
Hall of
Seen this
Famer.
picture before.
Okay, all right. There's been a lot of movement in this card tonight. So after we said we were going to discuss it, like they got the fucking let out and announced some matches. They announced Coven of the Goat versus Los Desperados, Jaden Newman and Tank versus Arez and Gringo Loco. How are we feeling about that?
Sure, man.
Uh,
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping that the Coven of the Goat would be in the Cybernetico, but yeah.
They still could be.
True. Maybe everyone's doing double duty.
Because Gringo Loco is in the Cybernetico, correct?
No, because I thought they were shuffling it around. I thought they were pulling Ringo and Ares out of the Cybernetico
Yeah,
too.
it does appear they are no
Different
longer
tags.
going to be in Cybernetico.
It's very
I can't
unclear to me.
I can't remember who it was. Someone on the Discord said that the story was that the Coven of the Goat's original opponents who hadn't been announced yet, are not on the show anymore. So they had to shuffle people out of the Cybernetico to get the matches back.
I say because they also took Mortos out of the Cybernetico and put him against Slim J.
Well, that's just in the service of putting on the best show possible with a dream match.
I was thinking that Slim J wouldn't be on this show or any of the Deans because he seemed pretty bitter. So I was wrong. Which I have the inside track on all these matches.
Man.
Payday's a
I'm gonna
payday.
be
You're
honest.
right.
I mean,
His fucking promo
Yes.
was, "I'm poor." You don't think he's going to take a little payday?
He doesn't
fucking
take a lot of
Slim J's the-
paydays. He's not wrestling a lot.
Who's paying him?
I mean, his job.
Exactly.
Slim J, he's a wrestler. It's like, you lose your job and you're like, man, fuck those guys. They weren't paying me enough. They weren't, using me enough, blah, blah. Then 2 months later, they're like, here's some money. And they're just like, bygones be bygones. I love you guys. That's how, like, ask fucking, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn after that fucking shoot interview they did where they were both stoned out of their mind. And then, like, I forget how long it was after, but they were both back in WWE in short
Oh.
order.
Here we go. We got Eric responding to Juicy Pat Lucy. He says, "No more Cybernetico?" question mark. And Eric says, "Cybernetico definitely still on, still 10 men. We just shifted Mordos and Gringo to new matches."
Interesting.
I think they should.
Yeah,
play
I have
double
no
duty.
idea what the Cybernetico looks like anymore.
I think that for the Lucha Cibernetico, they should bring in John Wayne Murdoch.
So that means right now we only have Dr. Cerebro and Hologram.
You know, it's a good as start as any. Good
It
as
is,
start.
and you can kind of go in any direction you want with those two. Pretty wide open
I mean,
still.
do they have Vito Fratelli's number?
I would hope so.
He's a Southwestern guy.
I'm trying to see if Doug has got a Noah show if he can make it.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man. People seem to be excited by Rhino versus Manders. That feels fake to me.
No, I'm excited for it.
Ugh.
Come on. Damn,
Did you guys watch Rhino's AEW?
I did.
It was funnier than I expected. Rhino is a surprisingly funny guy.
I have always thought Rhino is funny, and so when he got it, and he's a Detroit legend. So when he got announced versus
I think
Manders,
I think in 20, almost 30 years of seeing Rhino matches, this is like the first time I've seen him say more than 3 words.
Sam, how do you feel about that one?
I'm in it. I'm in it. Is it going to be a good match? I don't know, man. Probably not. But Rhino, at one point, he looks like just like a big rectangle of a man, like a big fridge. Like just over time, it feels like all the corners have been rounded on his body. Just kind of looks like a little, I don't know, a little squishmallow kind of guy. And I don't love Manders, so like I'm not gonna lose sleep over him being put in with Rhino of all people. And it could just be like
I think
okay time.
that is the match where people are going to do the meat chant.
Oh man, did you know that Rhino versus Sami Callihan happened in 2025? That's a square man match right there.
All right, I'm in. I'm in. Okay, the main event 2CW tomorrow, or in August when they might have their reunion show.
They're gonna run Rhino and Sami again?
Yep, they should. They
Okay,
should.
All right. Josh Woods versus Tom Lawler. Some people in our Discord really were disappointed this wasn't Adam Cole, which is wild.
What?
Which one?
Josh Woods. Because I think is Adam Cole? So it's someone that Tom Lawler was supposed to face in AEW and then didn't for some reason.
oh yeah, they like changed the card on like a pre-show for Forbidden
think-
Door.
Did maybe? Yeah, I don't even know. But yeah. So I saw that and thought that was funny. But
But I mean, I'm not a big Josh the Good Woods head, but he is certainly more suited for a Tom Lawler match, a better wrestler in general than Adam Cole.
Oh, plus, I think the whole premise of the match is that they've been training partners for like 10 years. So this is the RVD versus Sabu of Josh Woods and Tom Lawler.
right back to the Playboys in the Woods.
Right back.
And
to
don't
Detroit
bring up
legends.
Playboys in the Woods around filthy Tom Lawler. I feel like that would get really dark really quick.
We have a ROH pure title match: Lee Moriarty versus Matt Mako.
Yeah, I did not know he changed his.
My first question was going to be,
Ring
when
name?
did he drop part
Really
of his name,
recently.
like 3 letters?
I want to say like last month.
It's like he went to Ellis Island, and they're like, "You got to get rid of that ski. Get that out of here."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, wrestling famously rejects Polish characters like Larry Zbyszko. So
And then the main event, I'm assuming, I don't know, Cage Match has it listed co-main event, but dog collar match between Adam Priest and Mad Dog Connolly. That's why we're all here, guys, right?
Oh yeah. Those are two good professional wrestlers.
Well, I think if you take that match out, I don't know. People will still be excited because it's the Dean show. I don't know. I mean, it's a fine. Like, it's a fine card without that match. It's not something that I'm like, I gotta fucking clear my Saturday for. Which I don't think it's streaming live.
I don't know if it's going to be live, but they did say it's going to be free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be
So-
on Ring of Honor's YouTube.
Yeah.
So I don't
no one
actually need to
seems to
clear
be
Saturday.
aware that if you can watch it on the 24th or not.
It says it'll be uploaded to the ROH YouTube channel in due time after the event. Which
In
at Dusk
due
Pros,
time.
Dusk Pros taught me that means a month.
Did they ever upload everything?
No, not yet. I don't know. They could be going.
What
I'm
they
being rude
doing?
too. They could have some fucking problems going on, and I'm just giving them shit. But what are you gonna do?
No, he posts in the Slack, so you can be mean to him.
Oh, okay. What the fuck, man? People need to see it.
People need to see. Well, do they need to see it?
I don't know. Does anyone need to see
Anyway,
any of this shit?
Yeah, I need to see.
Adam Priest.
I
needs to
will
show
die
up
if
for this
I don't
match.
see it.
Adam Priest, what?
Adam Priest needs to show up for this match because he's fucking been wrestling folks like Kevin Blackwood and LeBron Cozone for way too damn long, and he needs to be in there with a real goddamn professional wrestler for once. So we're gonna see if he still got it. We're gonna see
Yeah,
if
he needs
still got it.
he needs to get
I
the
would
rep
say it's
ins
time-
like Go ahead.
I would say it's time for Adam Priest to put on his big boy pants, but that just seems mean.
But yeah, Mad Dog, he's only been in there with killers this year, like Otis Kogar and Tommy Davis.
Oh man, imagine if the Koger brothers were mean. What a
They might be in the Cybernetico. Oh wait,
Dude,
is what's his face WDID?
Otis,
Yeah, Atticus is ID'd.
Fucking stupid.
seriously?
The funniest WWE
amazing.
ID person.
That's the greatest
Oh,
thing
man,
I've ever heard.
He like, oh, God, he could be the next Sterling James Keenan.
He's gonna be the next Drake. They gotta make him a ref because he's
I
4 feet
thought-
tall.
I don't know why I thought, but I thought you were
No,
gonna say
there
Snake Brown.
he's one of those guys where it's like he's gonna like get like 15 concussions on like the Largo loop in NXT, and then he's just gonna end up like a backstage guy coming up with bizarre angles for everyone. He's gonna be like a Jimmy Jacobs type guy. And hopefully Gabe will be there to help him find his fortune in crypto.
Damn, he's ID'd, but he has not worked Evolve yet.
Well, you got to
Gabe's
find
fucking
just the
brothers.
right match for an Atticus Koga. You can't just throw him against anyone and Evolve.
Yeah, you can't just throw him against Swipe Right #1.
It's crazy because
Exactly.
I know we're all watching Evolve on Tubi, but none of us bring it up when we talk about the wrestling we've been watching.
Oh, it's just like
It's a
you already
given.
know.
It,
You
it's
already
just
know what it's about.
really weird every time I try to go on Tubi to watch WWE Presents Evolve Wrestling. A Jackie Chan movie starts auto playing, and I don't know how to change it.
Technology is tough. I'm always saying that.
I used to every now and then I would put. I don't know if the channel is even still up, but AAA had a Pluto TV channel for a while, and I would put it on, and it was just like videos of old shows. It was the same stuff they used to loop on their Twitch when they weren't running live shows. So it's just old shows playing in a loop. But for some reason, they had the commentary track like doubled. So the video was playing a commentary track, and then there was another commentary track playing on top of that. And it was just so awesome that like every time I checked it out, no one ever fixed this.
They got
It
Deion
was-
Sanders in a Tubi original here.
I think the problem is that we all know it airs on Wednesdays, which we record now on Tuesdays. So it's like,
Shit.
we all
Yeah.
watch it the day it comes out. So like now it's 6 days old.
Yeah.
I'd love to cover it more in depth, but maybe it'll be a big top someday.
I mean, the problem is just that we all know Evolve.
we all know Evolve.
Yeah. We know it a little too well at this point.
Oh, they got Lexus King on Evolve, which we all know. I'm not shocked to find this out on Cage Match right now in front of you.
Oh man,
Do we want to
that
talk about
that,
Dean
that,
3 at
that
all?
feels like a real downgrade.
Oh, yeah. What do you
Gentlemen.
think's going on with Dean 3?
Well, we already know one match. So after Danielson versus Makabe, what else do we think is going to be on the card?
Listen, I know that I announced it, but looking at the heavy hitters they brought out for this one, I'm a little worried that we might not be getting that match.
Oh,
Hoping for Mad Dog.
It's a free show. You think they're waiting for the big gate?
Yeah. Yeah, make me
Are
pay
they
for
both
this
free?
shit, Dan.
I thought Dean 3 was going to be for money.
No, exactly.
No,
exactly.
Yeah, he's saying they're holding off the big names for the money
Dan's
show.
being
Oh,
fucking
okay. I understand.
bitching about Dean 2 here. Well, it's free. What are you supposed to do?
Well,
What are you supposed to
I
do?
mean, it's the ECW arena, so one of the spotlight matches has to be Rhino. And I'm thinking Mad Dog versus Rhino in the dog collar.
A Rhino collar match.
Absolutely.
What do they look like?
What if they bring in the Rhinos?
Oh my God.
Rhino
good.
versus the Rhinos.
Hey, that's one way to make
Fucking-
Rhino look real fucking good.
Yeah.
He'll look
Rhino
like a fucking.
versus the
He'll look like a
Frogs.
prime Dragon Gate wrestler in there.
Dude, Rhino
Just
versus
running the ropes.
Frogs, and he's just spearing the shit out of those fat fucking Rhino crash fuckers.
All right, you got me back in the Rhino.
Yeah, this is what. And then one of the fake Rhinos is just incredible. He's the one who gets unmasked at the end.
Anyway, I don't think Dean 2 is bad by any means. I think it looks like a fun show.
Yeah, I'm not calling it a bad
agree.
card.
It's
Yeah.
not Dean 1. It's not Dean 1. Also, I don't think any match looks as bad as Cruel versus Warhorse. So there is that.
Now, Sam, you will not be in attendance for this show.
Yeah,
But
I
if you
heard my
were-
arch-
If you were, who do you think would be most likely to attack you?
Wow, this is a great question. We don't know all of the folks in the Cybernetico, so that does like pose a lot of questions. Does feel like Adam Priest would be that. I feel like folks around my size gravitate towards me. So, Damu
See, I
Shogun.
went a different way with it. I think Mortos, he's already beaten up little guy Slim J. He knows Damos. He sees you. Another little guy's like, all right.
See, I think Sam is more likely to be the victim of an accidental tragedy such as Hologram way overshooting a plancha and just knocking Sam into next week. Like one of those fucking indie lucha things where they intentionally dive into the third row, like a noisy boy type thing.
Maybe if we got
and-
Sam there, we could get Tank and
And it's
Gringo
just-
to go
it's just
outside and
like-
like fuck up his car.
If you guys want to send me out to Arizona this weekend, we can make this happen.
How many mugs do you need to sell today? Because you got to get that money quick to get to Arizona.
Let me just do a quick back of the napkin math. Like 140.
All right, you guys buy 130 of them. I'll buy the last 10. You got just come on, let's go. And then I get to ban somebody. See, I'm thinking.
Hey, man, your days are numbered.
Oh shit! No, he's on my good side. Fuck the rest of these guys.
He asks
You get a
questions
chance to-
before you have to ask.
Yeah,
You
sorry,
get to ask
Cole.
questions from these heavy hitters. I shouldn't have to beg.
We will. We should make it. If you submit stuff for the site to run, then you have some degree of immunity, not complete immunity, but some degree.
I will say I think I'm more down on Dean 2 than I should be because it's a pretty it seems like a pretty hastily put together thing.
Well, hey, you don't know that. Don't be
Well, then
mean
that's
to him.
worse. I'm saying it's
mean to
good. It's a
him.
real good card considering they seem to have to do it on a time crunch. Doesn't seem like it's been worked out for months.
You don't know that, Dan. You don't know
Well,
that.
then I think less of the card because it's like you've had months and you're making me fucking watch Woods and Lawler and pretending that Rhino's relevant in 2025. I'm back on Rhino. I don't like it because it's like he's in a NWA heavyweight title match. He's on Maple Leaf Pro. All the
He's
indies are
wrestling
bringing him in.
NWA?
Why are we all deciding at the same time that Rhino's a thing? It feels manufactured.
You're saying
think
that the
Rhino
Rhino
of all
comeback
people?
is a psyop.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like it's a plant. He's been available. It's not like Rhino's been hard to get for the last decade, right?
I feel like Rhino's always been fun. When did he stop
Maybe
being
he's been
fun?
having car trouble like Sam. He's like, okay, guys, fucking, I'm freeing up my weekends because I need to fix my car.
I think Rhino is fun. I think I have higher hopes for a Dean show. They set a pretty high standard with the first show that
I don't know. It feels like we're treating Rhino like just Incredible or Tommy Dreamer here.
okay. He's
That's
better
the
than
kind
both of
of-
those two.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
I
if there was
think
a
I'm not
Tommy
here
Dreamer
shitting-
match on
shitting
this
him.
card, show of the year.
And that's safe for Dean 3.
Dude, Tommy Dreamer versus one called Manders. Can you imagine? What a beautiful match.
Dean 3,
I'm
Tommy
gonna-
Dreamer kills himself on top of the ECW arena.
Dean, oh man, the night Tommy Dreamer
Email loved
danced
it.
atop the ECW arena on Dean 3.
I'm gonna say something pretty controversial. I'd rather see Shane Douglas.
Kill himself on top of the ECW arena?
No, I meant on the show. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, that did sound like I wanted Shane to kill himself, which
I do kind of wonder how many ECW originals they will bring in for that week, and because that will some of them end up on Dean? Will some of them end up getting like a fucking promo spot on a Collision episode or something?
Well, yeah, they're spending 3 weeks in the ECW arena.
They have booked it out for the rest of the calendar year. They did an XPW type deal.
There's gonna be so many ECW folks in there.
I just wish that they would fucking expand it to the rest of the promotional wars and bring in like the 3PW folks and bring in the XPW folks and who else was running
CPW.
there? I mean, Ring of Honor obviously, but
Where are my Chikara folks at?
I feel like Pro Wrestling Unplugged probably had a show there.
Definitely.
bring in GI Ho.
Has
I'm always-
JCW ever run the arena?
I don't
That's
know.
a good question.
So you're saying we're getting Tajiri, we're getting Rhino again, we're getting
Super
Shane
crazy.
Douglas,
I mean,
super crazy,
look,
little Guido.
They're rerunning the match. Obviously.
I wanted
After,
what's their face, GCW to do it, and they were cowards.
And you're gonna tell me that's gonna be
I
better
would
than
not
Rhino.
complain about getting Tajiri or Guido or Super Crazy on these shows. Like, if you're going to bring in old dudes, those are pretty fun old dudes to bring in. So
You're gonna get Lodi in there. It's gonna be great. What else are we doing?
I don't know. You guys want to talk about some questions or something?
I guess.
Let's do it.
Dean 2, watch it. It's free.
At some point.
At some
and
point.
we will, like, we're definitely all going to make time to watch it so that we can talk about it on next week's episode, like the famous Bloodsport Bushido show.
That went
led to
so well.
the best episode in history. I wasn't even
What happened that episode?
on the show for that one.
We all seemed fairly bored and had nothing to say about the entire show. Basically, it seemed like.
Oh yeah, everyone was so in love with that show. What idiots. Anyway.
In due time. That's when we get to watch Dean 2. All right, first question, unprompted by us, from Eamon. For VPR, who would you cast to play your co-host in the eventual Violent People movie? What do you guys got?
I don't know what Pat looks like.
That I was literally thinking the same thing. I don't know what he looks like. So that's rough.
I assume
trying to-
he is
trying to-
extremely handsome, so Ryan Gosling.
I look like a sunburned Irish guy with long hair.
Okay, so that's gonna
Sounds like
take
Ryan
out
Gosling.
Idris Elba.
Damn.
Yes, I'm pretty sunburned.
It's now I'm not saying who I want him to play, but is Short Sleeve Samson? Is he an actor as well? As a wrestler?
I'm pretty sure.
He can be.
Yeah, I can picture him in stuff. Is what I'm thinking. So yeah,
Come
he
on.
would play one of
You
y'all.
gotta give me at least like Peter Dinklage or something.
I just don't know if we can get him. That's
Give
a
me
lot of
the name.
mugs.
Anyway, we're gonna pull a bit of a sinners here, and it's just gonna be Jack Black twice for Dan and Chris.
Dick and
That's
Jockey.
awesome. Oh!
Exactly. Throw the popcorn, everyone.
Flint and Steel.
Oh man, this week I'm going to see the new Lilo and Stitch.
Pat's the doctor from Grey's Anatomy.
There's a lot of them in that show.
Patrick
there's only one
Dempsey.
Ellen
redhead
Pompeo?
man.
Patrick Dempsey.
No, not Patrick Dempsey. Redhead man.
Oh, the guy
Sam-
from Rome.
Sandra Oh?
That's
Yeah,
No,
Sandra
why?
Oh, for sure.
Sandra Oh. Okay. Honestly, yeah. There we go. In this revisionist history, we are adding diversity to our podcast. Congratulations. It changes the story of three white dudes talking wrestling.
And we've only ever had white dudes on this show. What are we doing?
I think we had a
Well, we had a woman.
Once,
we had a woman.
once
That counts.
Don't sound so excited. Don't sound so excited.
Just trying to be diverse. I'm trying,
Well, I will say that we have gone to the Cole and Andy well a lot when people are out, because they're young, unemployed, and available. So, gotta take it when you can get it.
I was like, they come off cool for guys who are available at any second for a podcast.
You want to fucking know it. They know a lot about Saw for people that are available 24/7.
They come off way cooler than you would picture a guy who could just be on a podcast any single time they get a Discord message.
I love it. I mean,
it's the only thing keeping this whole thing running, so I love it too.
So here's my pitch.
Okay.
We're gonna do Todd Field as Chris. He was the piano player in Eyes Wide Shut. He also directed Tar and In the Bedroom. We are going to do Seth Green as Sam. And then I think the perfect casting as Mr. Dan Rice is Paul Walter Hauser.
hell
That's the
yeah!
best thing anyone's ever said to me.
What a collection of talent we have here. God bless.
I would, of course, be played by AI.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Allen Iverson?
Yes. In AI, Allen Iverson.
I'm blanking on his name. Who's the guy from Breaking Bad? The redhead guy
Bryan
from
Cranston?
that. No, I'm not familiar for them.
Aaron Paul?
No, he's in Friday Night Lights. Does that help?
Jesse Plemons.
Yes. Could he be you, Chris? That's a pale man.
I could see that. I could see Perk Jesse Plemons.
I like Jesse Plemons a lot. I can't believe I forgot his name.
Good actor.
All right. Nick Yeoman says, my YouTube algorithm today has suggested 2 different videos to me about if WWE are undertaking a subtle pro-Karrion Kross propaganda campaign. My question is, if you had the resources of the TKO group, what is the stupidest agenda you would devote them towards?
Rhino.
I would probably spend a lot of time promoting Saudi Arabia.
See, I would bring back a thing that I used to find charming about WWE and WWF, which is that Vince McMahon would get annoyed by someone or something and then create a character in wrestling just to make fun of that. I would do a lot more like right to censor type stuff where Vince was mad at the Parents Television Council, so he made the RTC and had them just go around being nerds that no one liked. I would, have like the Marjorie Taylor Greene character or whatever. Just go around picking fights with people and institutions by lampooning them in ways that the fans could never actually turn babyface. And dooming the wrestlers playing them to fail and eventually become irrelevant.
Sam, you got any agendas you want to push?
You know what? I don't have any agendas.
Oh, also, I would make Shane and Stephanie get married at the start of every week.
Yeah, I think I should have one wedding every quarter. Professional wrestling. Bring weddings back.
When's the last time we had a good wrestling wedding?
Have
Or
we
anyone?
have we had an actual a gay wedding wrestling? Gay wrestling wedding?
Does Billy and Chuck count?
That they
No,
didn't,
it doesn't.
They didn't
That's
go all
the
the way
thing.
through.
It's like there's the only one is the
Did they do something like that? I can't remember the fucking promotion that has like Billy Dixon and Sonny Kiss. I'm blanking on the name of the promotion. I thought they did some kind of wedding themed show. And
Google's
it was
telling me about Rico Gonzalez and AC Mack getting married at the beach. Doesn't really help what I'm looking for. Congrats.
good for them.
I
Good
mean,
for
beautiful, but like not what I'm looking for.
AC Mack come back to professional wrestling.
This actually does transfer pretty great to our next question from Jade. Pride Month is coming up. Which of your VPR co-hosts would you have a gay marriage with? My nephew
Well-
just screamed from a different room, all of them,
Ooh,
which seems problematic. He is 12.
I like that answer though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry, kid. The age
That says
gap.
come back in
we're
6
in
years,
monogamy now.
and he left his phone number. That's weird. No, for real. Who you guys married on the show?
Dan, I'm marrying you. We'd be a bickering
that.
couple, but
I say it would be like they bickered in their like when their honeymoon phase. It was fun, but then when we're like 15 years in, it's like we really just hate each other. The fun goes
tax
away.
benefits. A tax.
Just to circle back for a second, it was Enjoy Wrestling, and it was an attempted wedding angle between Billy Dixon and Sonny Kiss.
Doesn't sound like it went well.
I didn't watch the show, but I assume it went, how wrestling weddings always go, with someone pulling off their old man makeup and Samoans attacking everyone. But I would marry Chris because union. You know,
I mean,
yeah. Union folks got to support each other.
and that really
Marriage
works
union
out
strong.
because you two are married and me and Sam are married, so we can have like
Yeah.
cool like couple trips and stuff.
So then when we get into a fight, we know whose side we're taking.
Uh,
When the podcast
Marilyn
goes
asks,
into blue versus yellow.
"Oh shit! It's almost Pride Month." Yes. Moving on.
When is it? Dan?
Pork asks, "It June 1st."
There you go.
We'll look for your rainbow mugs. Pork says, "What's your favorite weakness a vampire has?" My answer: Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I think garlic's just a funny thing.
She could kill anyone. That's a universal weakness, not just vampires.
We're all weak to
'Cause She
SMG.
was she was killing all kinds of shit on that show. Didn't they have
Yeah,
like werewolf
demons.
episodes?
Yeah, they had demons and stuff.
Yeah, she was just a serial murderer. It wasn't exclusively vampires. I would say the one that I wish more thing the need to be invited into somewhere. The
Yes,
inability to just do home invasions.
Yeah, Sinners makes really good use of that.
Yeah, I always like when people get creative with how that is how a vampire has to manipulate a situation into well, I guess they really are just manufacturing consent, but
Vampires. Eamon says, "What's the best color scheme for a stable/faction? I always think a nice black and gold works well."
blue and yellow.
Chris?
So my serious answer is black and white. The NWO.
Yeah, it's
right.
just black and white.
Yeah.
See, that's definitely the right answer. But I will say, when the Wolfpack came out, I was like, black and red. What will they think
Black
of
and
next?
red is crazy.
Black and
Like-
red was cool until they put it on Sting, and then it was just kind of like, oh no.
I just remember,
I will
like,
say in
somehow I didn't know
WCW,
black and red
NWO,
could go together.
in WCW NWO Thunder for the PlayStation 1, you could hit a button on the roster screen that would like change the faction of everyone, so you could have them be in WCW or NWO or the Wolfpack or the Horsemen or Ravensblock, and they would get like pallets swapped based on. I put everyone in the NWO. everyone's costume looked coolest in the NWO.
Sam, you got any
What would
color
it like?
Even
thoughts?
though for guys like Raven, it was just like he had an NWO tank top on instead of a fucking like Nevermore tank top.
All right. Haven. I feel like we covered this before. What's the best kind of sandwich?
A hot dog.
Oh, hey, let me get the Reuben. Love a Reuben.
Egg and cheese.
I got a lot of choices. I like a Monte Cristo. I like a turkey club. I like sandwiches.
They just closed the diner with my favorite egg and cheese.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oof.
I'm miserable about it. It's like my car's broke down. I can't even drive to you on your last days of being open. It's
I
terrible.
saw some news story about a bar that went out of business, and the bar owners immediately went on the attack against the food cart owners nearby, saying like,
Bastards.
we were put out of business by people going to the food cart instead. I'm like, you're a fucking bar. There aren't food carts that sell beer.
In my downtown, they put in 3 or 4 roundabouts, and the construction took longer than it's supposed to. So business went out of business, yada yada yada. But like, some of them did go out of business because of the roundabouts. But you have places that are like 10 blocks away, being like, this damn construction can't carry on like this. I think this is
As
our
someone
last.
from Boston, I just got to say, roundabouts, they're awesome. We love them.
I love
Yeah,
them. The
great
first day
song.
they opened, people drove right through the middle of them, like multiple people.
How
It
does
was
that
on the
even work?
news.
Yeah, no,
They're
everyone
not very. There's not
instinctively
very
knows
high.
how traffic flows in and out.
Like the curve's not very
Oh,
high,
man.
so like you're not wrecking your car. You're just going boom boom. And they didn't have like any like stuff in the
That's
middle.
so
Like they don't
awesome.
have like plants or anything. So like on the news there was like 3 or 4 cars. The first day it just went, and like they had a helicopter to watch them just go straight through the middle of the roundabout.
That's
Why is
so
there a
sick.
bunch of grass in the middle of this normal intersection?
Yeah, like I'm having a great time, and then someone put some grass in the road.
Just put like a whole bunch of like AstroTurf over like a tiger pit, and just people drive right into it.
See, the last question, I believe, from Katie Parker. Nope, from Eamon. Sorry. Maybe too late, but it's the 25th anniversary of the Briscoes' debut. So what are your favorite matches / memories of them? Do any deep cuts in particular stand out? Not a deep cut at all, but I've talked like ad nauseum about the parking lot brawl between Jay and Mark. I love that match.
Yeah, it's one of the best matches ever.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Like if somehow you're listening to this, haven't seen it, please watch it. Deep cuts. I feel like sadly with Jay's passing, like so much spotlights on the Briscoes, but I like some of their NWA work against the Lost Boys, NWA Wildside, from when they're really, really young. I feel like all the Ring of Honor and CZW stuff can't really count as a deep cut at this point, but I don't know.
I mean, I think enough time has passed that people have forgotten about their handful of CMLL matches. Them and I think it was them and Roosh versus Park and the Lucha Brothers. Like,
Yeah,
that was 2017 or 2018. It's been long enough now that I think there are a whole bunch of people who are just kind of like surprised to find out that it existed at all. But that was a great match.
yeah,
That
I
was, that was like
remember.
the Briscoe brothers, the second time ever in Arena Mexico, and the fans were immediately like, all right, we understand exactly who these guys are. We love this shit.
Yeah, I remember like not too long ago, I put someone in the Discord onto those matches in CMLL. So
I think
they're
I talked about it at the time of the VP 2010s, where it's like, there was so much Briscoe stuff I missed from that 2016 the on period, because that's kind of like I wasn't following Ring of Honor as much at that point, or Briscoes, and it's like that match stood out, and then it's just like they're both just fucking amazing. Like they have a match with Dragon Lee and Roosh and Ring of Honor that I remember watching.
that match
fucking
is
ruled.
that match is fantastic.
And I think that's just a random ROH TV show. I don't think that was on like a big event or anything. And that match fucking rules.
And I also gotta shout out the fucking the ladder war. The Briscoes versus Young Bucks versus who was it from SCU? It was two of the SCU guys. But that was a
Kazarian
fucking
and Scorpio Sky.
yes. I was trying to remember if Daniels was in it, but that was a sick match. I mean, I love that kind of crazy shit.
I don't think I have any real deep cuts to talk about. Like
It was Final Battle 2018.
You hear it? Sam does not like the Briscoes. It's a bold take.
yeah, that's me. That's me. I just don't have any like matches that people are unaware of at this point. Like you can watch pretty much any Briscoe match, and I think you're gonna find great things about it. So what to do?
What was
we're
Sam?
talking
What
about
was your
Ladder
favorite
Wars.
look?
For Ladder Wars, watch
What was your fa-
the All Night Express match from 2011. That Ladder War. That's the one. That's a real
That's a fun one.
one.
I was gonna ask, what's your favorite Jay Briscoe look throughout the years?
Stars and bars. Okay. Thank you for listening to Violent People Radio.